I ought to call myself Mrs. Grumpy because I am so fed up with this hassle, which is that YouTube. It's just not right. It's just ridiculous. Having to use two devices to go live, it's just not right. Supposed to be done with one application. Alright, so it's working. Okay, let's check my audio. Which is the YouTube. It's just right. Okay, the audio's working. Alright, I'm going to stick that back on pause again because so what am I doing at the moment? I did wind some more coils and I put them on, and this is about 2/3 as efficient as the original coils that were on there, the ones which I was getting a decent, well, the mismatched coils I talked about. So the mismatched coils were actually doing better than the matched coils, but these matched coils are actually using 22 gauge wire. So on there I've got 22 SWG wire on the actuator coils at the moment, and in my endeavours to wind the new coils, I wound them on my coil winder with the RPM, sorry, the counter to count the turns. I did them all very well, and that's the 22 SWG wire that's still on the spool there. And I'm going to put a light on. Alright, I've got my reel to reel out. I'll explain that in a sec. I'm just using it as a spool holder at the moment because I've got a oh my god, the synchronous motor's coming off the... Right, I'll explain it. Synchronous motor's moving. I need to anchor that down a minute. Let me just get... Oh! Hang on a minute, just a minute. Stupid thing. Friggin' neck. Hang on a minute. Sorry about this, but I didn't realise it was tipping over on itself. Uh-oh, sellotape's come off now. Sorry about this. Let me just get my camera stand out. I ain't got my battery. I'm going to stick this on here. Right. Put my ready solder on there to hold that from falling over. So what's happening? At the moment I'm cleaning up some wire on. I'm using a synchronous motor to pull this tube, and inside this tube is packed with cotton wool and acetone, and I'm cleaning the 22 SWG wire which took off a previous project, which is covered in glue and hard stuff and everything. So at the moment it's moving through this tube which is full of acetone and cotton wool to clean the wire at an extremely slow rate. So slowly that you can't even see it moving. That's why I didn't notice this thing was tipping over. Where's my sellotape gone? So where's the end of the sellotape gone? Just a minute. So I want to use the 25 SWG wire. This is 25 SWG wire, which is in the previous project. For another set of coils, and oh, guess what arrived today? My 3D printed filament. So I've got some more filament which just arrived, and it was hugely delayed because of the... I'm going to put this over the top. I'll explain why. I'm going to 3D print a special holder for this synchronous motor, because I've decided I'm going to design. I'm driving the synchronous motor with my H bridge, incidentally. my H bridge is actually driving the synchronous motor, which is pulling that wire through, and it's pulsing it at a very slow speed to I can see the wire moving. I'm going to show you it actually. Let me get some let me get a black marker pen. Right, if you watch the wire, there's a black mark on that wire. What can you see it moving? See it moving very slowly. As it goes through the tube, it gets acetoned and cleaned. Oops. Alright, I think that's working alright now. I anchored it down, so it put some tape around there so it wouldn't tip over on me, because I'm using this spiky thing as a bearing to keep the bobbin from tipping over, which is what it started to do, because my sellotape, which I had at the bottom on the base, the sellotape actually came off the bottom, and because it was leverage on it. Well, hopefully with the sellotape on the top and down the side of my thingy, it shouldn't lever. It should no longer leverage. Because I tell you, it was very boring. It was driving me up the wall to actually manually pull this through, wait a few minutes for it to soak the wire to clean it, and pull the next bit through. And I was doing this manually for a bit, and I thought, oh, I can't stand this. I thought there's got to be an easier way. There's got to be an easier way of doing this. I had an old microwave synchronous motor, and I thought, well, it requires 220 to 240 volts, but my H bridge can produce about maybe 200, maybe 160 volts peak to peak pulsed. And I thought, well, let's give it a shot and let's give it a try, but I wanted it to run slowly. I didn't want it to turn as fast as a turntable on a microwave, which is pretty fast. I wanted it to run a lot slower, so I slowed the H bridge right down to a very slow speed, and I'm pulsing the synchronous motor with a very slow speed, and it's turning that wire very slowly. Yeah, I can actually see it moving. So I'm feeding the wire from the reel to reel onto the synchronous motor basically. Oh, it just twitched then. So as long as it doesn't stall out on me. Occasionally it gets caught up and snagged and it seems to stall, but I just pull a bit of loose wire on this end and let it go again, and it's happy. Yeah, so ideally it would be better to use a stepper motor, but I don't have any spare stepper motors. So what I'm designing at the moment on SketchUp, which is there, is a synchronous motor holder, and the circle in the middle is for the synchronous motor to sit in, and then I'm going to build a wall system for the bobbin and the bearing assembly to hold the bobbin in place, while the synchronous motor actually turns the bobbin with the wrapping the coil on it, which will be a lot better than that mash up there, using a pot noodle container and a bit of blue tack and magnets and everything else, which is what I'm using right now. So I thought I'm going to design something to hold that, because this, I've got all that wire to get through. I mean, look at the state of it. It's covered in look at the state of the wire. It's spotty and gluey, and it's, yeah, because when I put it on the bobbin, the wire's really messy. I took it off the original thing that I built a few years back with these took it all off this big bobbin, and I looked at how much wire I'd put on there. I did it in 2018. There's the date, 2nd of the 3rd, 2018, when I did that. And there were 600 turns of 25 SWG wire on there. I thought, wow, that's basically a full bobbin of wire. And I thought, well, rather than spending like what, £14 in money, 14 quid, 14 sterling. Rather than spending all that money on another spool of copper wire, well, let's just clean this lot up. And yeah, it's working. Anyway, it's going through that tube very slowly. As I said, this tube's got 2 holes, one at this end and one at that end, and the wire goes all the way through with a great big wad of woolly wool wrapped around the wire as it goes through, and it cleans all that crap off it, and it comes out at this end really clean. If you look at that end, you see how clean it is, and that end it's going in very, you can see the muck on it. You can see it's all patchy as it goes in, nice and shiny when it comes out. So yeah, it's doing the job. So there's not much else happening. I've got to design that thing for the synchronous motor. So we're a bit sidetracked again at the moment, but when I get that wire cleaned up, I'm going to wind some more bobbins with 25 SWG wire, which is in between the original bobbins, the original coils I did, which were very good, which worked very well. The original wire we used was 28. These are the bobbins that work pretty well. That's 28, and the others were the others were 26. So this is what I'm talking about. They were mismatched. So this was 26. These two. These were 26, and the others were 28. So I'm figuring we need to go a little bit lower. So not 22 was too low. I think 25 will probably be just about right. 28 was probably too high. But I'm thinking 25 SWGY is probably going to be the better optimization to do. So so that's what those are the ones that I did with the 30 SWG wire. Those are the ones, get it to focus. Those were the ones with 30 SWG, and they didn't work very well at all. So I'm pretty sure 25 is probably ideal. So that's what we're going to go with. And my H bridge is blinking away. Driving that synchronous motor at the moment. Yeah. Oh, I like the wire coming out. It's got nice and clean. So anyway, just a little update on what's going on right now. Nothing much else to report home about. I'll keep you updated if there's more developments over the weekend. Anyway, I'm glad that thing's working, because I didn't want to drive much more volts, because at the moment we're driving the synchronous motor with 74.5 volts to get it to turn. And the synchronous motor, if I try to drive it any higher than that, it upsets my input, because as you can see, my input is dancing around a bit right now. That's current, by the way. If I go too high, my current limiting, the yellow light current limiting comes on, and it resets the thing, and the fan comes on there on that thing, starts cooling. You know, it doesn't like, the higher the voltage you step up, the more current you're drawing on the low side. Yeah. So I'm glad it's running now. Look at that slackness, that wire that was all slack, it's nearly all taut again. It's tightening up again. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to go for now, because I don't know how long this is going to take. I have no idea how long this is going to take. I don't know how many feet a minute is it doing. I would say we're talking inches per minute. uh, probably probably 3 inches per minute is cleaning this wire out. So I think we're going to be here all week. All right, see you later.